It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Of course, we want to remind you the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. And now, of course, Eddie G's Cookies. That's right, EddieG'sCookies.com. If you want to get a cookie that is good, that tastes good, that ain't got all that other stuff that ain't got no good for you in it. Did I say that right? I have no idea. Slide on over to EddieG'sCookies.com and place your order today. That's right. Get you some of them snickerdoodles or them chocolate white cranberry. Actually, I like the double chocolate chip myself and the oatmeal raisin. I mean, they all pretty good. But here's the deal, though. When you get these cookies, I'm trying to tell you right now, the best way to eat these cookies right here, you got to throw them on the microwave side, baby. Put some waves on them, you know what I'm saying? Heat them up a little bit right there. And, oh, my goodness, you don't even know what you ain't missing. I'm trying to tell you one time. That's right. EddieG'sCookies.com. Place your order today. For my folk out there in TV land, if you want to leave your questions or comments during today's program, by all means, please do so, and we will throw it up on the screen. And y'all know what's coming next. If you're one of them folks that wants to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, won't be seen on this screen. Matter of fact, here's what you'll get.
Got time for that.
That being said, joining me on the program today is my cat from up north, or should I say across the pond, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Lord have mercy. What kind of intro we got this way? What happened there? Oh, my God.
Yes, sir. It is the most wonderful time of the year.
And that time is?
March Madness.
Okay. Well, anywho, yeah. Anyway, let me just let the folks out there know we got a couple of items on the menu for y'all today. That's right. We got the Gridiron and, of course, March Madness, as my co-host just aforementioned right there. Did I say that right? Who knows? But first, I didn't even put this in the show notes. I want to talk about that doggone Jake Paul, fake Paul, Mike Tyson.
You couldn't. We're not even 5 minutes into the show.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
on the topics.
Exactly.
And you couldn't help yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't help yourself either.
Go for
Let
it.
me
Floor
say
is yours.
Yeah, it is. And the ceiling. Okay. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because the roof is the ceiling. Let Michael Jordan tell it anyway. Anybody say he was a A and B student. I'm just saying. Look, man. I don't know what you all's definition of boxing is. But regardless of your opinion or my opinion on what the sport is, somewhere in either opinion, there has to be some sort of inclusion of sweet science. I want anybody and everybody to tell me who's ranting and raving about this upcoming bout. And I'm going to read to you all the rules for this thing, because before the rules were announced, anyway, don't let me not get ahead of myself. Okay. I want somebody out there to tell me how in the world this is considered boxing, because there's no sweet science. What do you call it boxing? Just because they got on both parties going to have participants going to have on gloves? Huh? Look here. Let me tell y'all something. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, with all due respect, is a mockery to the sport and the essence of the sport. It is. I get it. Everybody's talking about money. They get in the bag, and it's about entertainment. Do you all want me to read again what I told you all now, okay? What entertainment is, according to Michael J. Parenti. He wrote a book called Entertainment Media. Now, I don't say this braggadociously, okay? But I do want to point this out. I am a journalist. Journalism was my major, okay? That was my thing in college, right? And the substitute reality with television reality at this stage and age, especially in 2024, is ridiculous, okay? There is no substance to this. When you talk about entertainment and the bottom line being the dollar, everybody talking about, well, they're going to be making money. Yeah, okay, that's overstating the obvious. But let me ask you this. Are you all familiar with the expression that all money ain't good money? Okay, then. This is ridiculous when it comes to the sport. And I have a cousin, I'm not going to mention her name. Shout out to my cousin, though, you know what I mean, who's very, very into sports, okay, has been all my life, okay, all her life. She mentioned that Ali did exhibitions. But here's the killer part. Two things. Ali did exhibitions towards the end of his career, so to speak. He was already long in the tooth, right? And two, he did not do them. Ali's exhibitions were not for money grabs. Even Mike Tyson himself admitted, when Ali was doing these exhibitions, Ali still wanted to scrap. But here's the thing. We're making excuses, just like we do with the NBA and the All-Star game. Man, it's about brand, and don't nobody want to hurt their brand, and blah, 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 blah. Look, in regards to why the competition, or why the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game is non-competitive, it's not competitive anymore. And I'm using that. I know we're talking about boxing, right? But I'm just using that as an example. Too many excuses are being made for why things aren't what they used to be, and as if though that what they used to be was a bad thing, and what they are now is okay because that's the time we living in. Man, that is so passe. Okay, it's the line. There are no lines no more, and they have to be redrawn. These lines, okay, in my opinion. But the reason why the NBA All-Star game, for instance, is not competitive, like most people today tell it, I'm asking you, when the Iversons and the Kobes and the Jordans and whoever else you want to talk about that play these All-Star games, pick an All-Star game. What, the 01 All-Star game? It was very competitive. Are we suggesting then that them guys in 01 played with a level of competitiveness? Did it hurt their brand? If anything, it can help your brand. Why do you think that Adam Silver is going back talking to the rules committee about whether or not if the offenses are too tailored to what? Yeah, because something is wrong. They don't make rule changes because everything is all on the up and up and everything is all good. Oh, and again, by the way, they need to do something about these NBA refs too, because the calls that they're making now, even for Arnold Rothstein standards, this is ridiculous.
Can I interject on that point alone?
Well, what are you interjecting? Saline solution?
No. Here's the did you see Giannis was fined heavily? You know, albeit
so was Rudy Gobert
for doing this here.
For the money, exactly.
So I overheard something again. I was overheard on that Brian Windhorst was mentioning that there was a certain change.
Hold that thought. I'm glad you mentioned his name. Number one, did you hear what he said about Allen Iverson?
No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go look at him because I don't want to be the one to tell it all. But listen, these talking heads, they sounded more and more ridiculous by the day. And then right back to the refs, right quick, the NBA refs. If Rudy Gobert can be fined, what was Giannis fined for, by the way? Because I didn't catch that. What was
for doing that to the refs? And apparently there's been some kind of change where there was a substantial difference in calls, and basically the gist of it that I heard was that there was almost like a conspiracy theory that they were acknowledging something has changed drastically. And this is why I almost got up. I almost stopped working to go and like hear what they were talking about, because I'm like, very rarely now do they say anything of substance.
Yeah.
And so they were basically, and this is what I was kind of mentioning because it was about the referees themselves, and basically that they don't like Scott Foster, and the league almost wants all of them to act like Scott Foster. And it was like, it was this very strange. That's what I mean. Like, rarely do you hear them actually tackle real problems.
Okay, so hold up. Now let me interject. Okay, hold up. Let me go back before we get too far. Okay, I'm with you so far, but before we get too far. So Rudy Gobert and Giannis, all right, were fined heavily, right? But remember we were doing the play breakdown, which we got to get back to, okay, maybe for next Wednesday, God willing, we all still here and everything. But remember the Knicks game. Who were they playing when the guy The Knicks, the Pistons.
Pistons, yeah.
They were playing the Pistons. And the Pistons player got bowled over like the Alabama showdown, okay, with the folding chairs and everything is what I'm trying to tell you. And there was no call. But here it is. This is what I'm trying to say, man. Even in the today BA or in the sports world today, it has gotten so out of hand, these things, the disparity or the discrepancy. Rudy Gobert and Giannis gets fined for doing this heavily now, but in that Pistons-Knicks game, no call. No call. And nothing at all happens to the refs. Bruh, I know life ain't fair, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But listen, don't put powdered sugar on a pile of dog and try to convince me it's a funnel cake. Something has to be done. Because you can't keep penalizing players. And you know my stance on this now. When we talk about players and monies and so on and so forth. I'm not going to keep looking at the players. Okay. When I appreciate what Haslam, I'm using the Browns as an example. I appreciate what Haslam has done to try to bring a winner to Cleveland. I get it. Okay. But to ask, you are a private entity and you're asking for public funds.
That's all of them.
I know, but I'm just using that as an example because I'm right here. You get what I'm trying to tell you? So, in other words, I'm tired of the player being the focus. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Let's go. Let's look at who's his boss.
Okay, but this is the problem. This is a problem in doing that because it's the entertainment factor. The players are the product, right? So something that in Club Shay Shay, something that the guy who played the actor who played Damon in Next Friday, or Friday After Next,
Mike Epps.
No. The big dude.
Play who?
Damon. The
big dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Terry is his name. Terry something.
No, you thinking of Terry Crews?
Yeah. No, that's him.
No.
That's him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, next Friday. Okay, yeah, got you. My bad. Next Friday. Okay.
And
you said next Friday, right?
Friday After Next, the last one. Yeah. And he said, because he got cut, right? He was a football player, got cut from Washington. And he said every player that he encounters, he tells them the game needed you, you don't need the game, because he went through depression when he was let go. And why I'm bringing that point to it is that that's the whole premise of the game, that they being the NFL itself, do not want the focus on the ownership or on general management, because those are just business positions like any other industry.
But are they not relative to the sport and the entertainment of it?
I mean, based on the fact that they're all under the umbrella, yes, but by actual definition, I mean, they get held accountable too. Look, here in Detroit,
yeah, but not to the same degree.
Sheila Ford or Hamp Ford, whatever it is, Firestone, whatever, Mr. Ford, they were dragging him too, before he passed away and before they passed the torch to Sheila and
Tom Benson.
Right.
But I'm not saying there's no accountability to some, but to what degree though?
Well, the fact of the matter is they're playing within the rules that are given to them. Is it rigged for they being the ownership? Look, if they could sit there and give you, they don't.
Yeah, they
play
do.
Within, they have to approve them. Remember, Roger Goodell is simply their puppet, right?
So then, if Roger Goodell is their puppet, then who's the puppet master?
But this is what I'm saying. It's the collective. It is all
the
32.
NFL. It's all
right.
32
It's the
owners.
entity, but you have to understand that the entity is a brand. It's not an individual. But it itself takes on a life of its own at that point. But this is why I'm saying when you're
all
pointing
one,
out,
bruh. The collective in this case, in the NFL's case in particular, is all one.
Which is why the general mantra is to, by any means, always protect the shield. This is very well known. So I get what you're trying to say, but what I'm telling you is they can give you lip service all day long because this is nothing but a toy to them. Right? Name an NFL owner. You can't get a team today unless you have a certain net worth. And that's significant. So even just to be eligible is not what it used to be. Right? Mark Cuban
hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna take a minute 2-6 break. On the break side, we're gonna give y'all some Eddie G's. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you. And hold that thought. We can come back to it after we get some Eddie G's cookies going, baby.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making up my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's Cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
That's right. EddieG'sCookies.com. When you're on your way to grandma's house, you know what I'm saying? Taking that road trip. Make sure you hit the Travel Centers of America and grab you some EddieG'sCookies.com. I'm here to tell you, I'll lie for you before I will to you. I had all of them. Matter of fact, I'm still waiting on my sampler box. I'm just saying. Okay. And at the end of the day, yeah, let me tell you something right now. You throw a little microwave on the game, you understand me? And I think you got yourself a good deal there, baby. EddieG'sCookies.com. Oh, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't the price go down or something like that in terms of quantity and price?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
A lot of options now. So 3, 6, and 12. Obviously, the market changes, right? 12 may be too many. And, I've seen it just this week. People have ordered 3 and 3, to get variety, or just straight 6, or they love them so much that they've gotten 12 and 12. So I've seen all the above, literally, but it's meant to accommodate everybody and all the price ranges as well.
Sounds good. Okay, go ahead. Finish your thought.
So the problem I have is this: any theoretical college business class will put you in a circumstance where you have to start an organization or even just jump into an industry that, head first, and there's already a set of standards. In this case, that standard is the salary cap. And as we've seen, it changes, but this is the biggest issue and gripe that we've always had. I've always felt that the NFLPA, no different, any PA, anything except for the state of Pennsylvania.
You mean PU.
But yeah, exactly. This is ultimately our problem: is no one has leveraged that bargaining chip, and it's because none of them can agree, and that's what they want, right? Division is always the answer. And so this is very, common knowledge out there that we can all see what the television deals are. Again, public information. And we also know what I just told you, which is the players the players are the product. And so what that means is the players are the ones who ultimately get, again, wrongfully so, but they're the ones who end up under the microscope because they're saying take the pay cut in order for the team's success, right? Because the fan, obviously short for fanatic, is looking at it under that simple context, right? We need to work within this number, and based on what we have, we're going to just Excel sort that list as we've done, we even last week to look at where the quarterbacks are and where, in this case, by the roster and who's making what in order to stay within that figure.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. And then after I say this, I'm gonna get into what entertainment media is. Okay. Again, this is the book written by Michael J. Parenti, Make Believe Media, The Politics of Entertainment. Sorry about my hands right there. I just want you all to see that. This is the book I actually used in my first journalism class, actually. But let me just say this right quick, and then I'm gonna get to the rules for the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing, and you tell me if it's not a joke, okay? Whatever y'all call it boxing nowadays. But anyway, right quick. Based on what you just said, this is the reason why my fandom is conditional at this stage. When I was in my early teens, pre-teens even, and told you, the days watching sports with my grandfather, introduced to sports with my grandfather, whatever it is, the brain is not wired to deal with reason or premise, conclusions, things of that nature until you get a little older. Okay, all you know is I love the sport. I'm gonna watch it. That's my team. That's my favorite team. Well, number one, you can be a fan to a fault, homer to a fault. Okay, I've been rolling with the rolling. I'm trying to say rocking and rolling at the same time. Frolicking. I don't know. Call it what you want. I'm just saying. Here we go with the misappropriations. BSJ on a roll, baby. I've been rolling with the Browns ever since I was 5. Okay. Here it is. I'm 54, thanks to the high power. But at this stage, I ask myself, and as I would ask any fan, are you a consumer? Excuse me. And if you are considered, or if you see yourself, okay, I'm a consumer. If you can admit that, then isn't the ideal, or shouldn't the ideal be to get away from being a consumer?
It depends. I'm going to give you 2 different examples here.
Okay.
And this is where that fixed circumstances is where the American sports differ from the global sports. Here's why. A lot of American sports, basketball, football is a perfect one, right? They have a salary cap in place in order to make sure that these teams stay profitable. Additionally, they have no outside competition kind of chomping at their
feet. They got the market on lock.
Well, correct, right? They have an indirect monopoly. And
is that legal in this country?
Yeah.
Are monopolies
because
legal?
There's nothing stopping, right, the USFL or the Lingerie Football League.
Hey, wait a minute there now.
From playing, from competing with them, should they choose. There really is nothing doing it. Now, again, what we saw, there's vulnerable sports, and Liv took advantage of that, right?
Yes.
That was, in my opinion, that we will.
And it crushed the
see
PGA.
A case. Yeah, you will see a case study on what Liv did, and that being potentially the first domino to fall, right? Because they've gone unrivaled.
Right.
And I think MLS message.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all of that because one thing that Manchester City fans that prior to Sheikh Mansour purchasing the team, and even after, myself included, as it pertains to buying a jersey, I will not buy it off a secondary market. I will only purchase it through the team store because I want the money going to the team. Now, as it pertains to the Lions, there's people on Facebook selling any kind of knockoff that you can find that looks just as good.
Yeah.
Right. And so the difference being, we know that the Ford family is filthy rich and already has, right, a certain revenue guarantee annually just through licensing and television, right?
Okay, so stop right there. There you go. So I'm asking you then, as a consumer, sports are the only entity in this country that gets a pass. Because here's what I mean. Through licensing and all of that, in other words, your monies are already guaranteed as a franchise. That's what sounds like you're saying to me, right?
That's what they've done. That's what they have done. Again, now They don't have promotion relegation, even though those teams in the Premier League get a golden parachute on their way out. There's a reason we don't see them coming back in every single year either. There's teams like Sunderland that haven't been in a decade. You know, they fell out of it. They were in there for about 10 years straight, and then I never seen them again, pretty much.
Okay, so let me all right, so then let me say it then. If you are, let's say, a Lions fan, up until oh shucks, I forget the coach's name. What's the coach's name here for the Lions?
Dan Campbell.
Okay. Up until Dan Campbell's regime or reign, if you would. As a Lions fan, give me a reason as a consumer. What have they given you in order to justify you running out, breaking your neck to go buy a jersey that's $200 or $300?
That's the thing.
Listen,
they haven't. That's why the only one I have is Kevin's.
That's my point. So in other words, in any other facet, as you being a consumer in this economy, if you go to the store and buy something and you get it home and you open it up, whatever it is, and you see it's not what you paid for, do you go back and get it again? Mind you, now these sports entities are doing what? Not only are they not giving you a legit reason to go out and buy a jersey or paraphernalia that's the prices on them are astronomical. Mm-hmm. We talked about they charging you to eat in it, they charging you to sit in it, and they want money from you to build it. But what are they giving you in return for your fandom to be unconditional?
Well, that's just it. You've said it. It's the product itself, which is entertainment. And this is why we've challenged, not just on this show, but certainly it's been echoed in articles as well, which is the cost of a team actually being in the city. Remember, there's plenty of cities across the United States that do not have one, right? And so, but the overarching problem is, remember, the game is by design. It is to create parity, which is, again, that statement.
Yeah, well, that part is putrid. The way
that's the point. Otherwise, what you would need if you really wanted true competition, you wanted to see an owner really either have the choice of ponying up or not, is by way of promotion relegation. But that means you have to have challengers. We don't have that in the United States. And unfortunately, outside of the United States, they don't really play football, right?
Okay, so how do you get that parity? Is there a way to get that parity organically? Because anytime you start manufacturing that type,
the salary cap is meant to do that.
Okay,
salary
well,
cap
it's meant
is meant
to
be as a safeguard.
Yeah, well, it's
for
meant
both
to be,
for both a financial gain, to make sure that there's a certain annual margin made per year, and then also to make sure that teams like the Yankees have passed, right? George Steinbrenner didn't care; he wanted a winner, and he was willing to pay for that. He got it.
Listen, that's my point exactly. That's what. If you're gonna spend your money, listen. Hey, George Steinbrenner, may he rest. Then get your money's worth. Isn't that the whole idea of coming out your pocket?
To your point, this is what it boils down to, and this is the part that's not talked about enough, which is that luxury tax. It is to disenfranchise or to the owners that want to overspend, the by any means necessary owners. That's competition. They do not want that. Go look. If we were to pull up the NBA just right now, right? Teams that are overpaying, so to speak, but again, the Golden State Warriors typically are number one on that list. Their owner doesn't care. He wants to win.
I know, but here's the killer part. Once again, let's go back to, you got an owner that doesn't care about paying a luxury tax. That should be saying something about how much he got, what he's worth.
Well, but that's already known. That is already known. I told you, you can't buy a team today. Think about it. The going rate for a team now is not hundreds of millions anymore. It is now billions.
Yeah, because that's what Haslam paid for the Browns when they was going 2-14.
And remember, that is, you can't if we were to look at it from our vantage point, and we were to say, okay, let's just call it $2, right?
Hold that thought. Hey, we got merch for sale, y'all. Check this out.
Speaking of spending,
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on more, and then shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
Shout out, baby, to the Shop Report, baby. Yeah, that's
So-
right. Get your items today. Go ahead.
yes, absolutely, hoodies, golf balls. We got
Oh,
more
wait a minute.
items than the NFL.
Oh,
So-
well, please. That's stretching it a bit. My gosh. Okay, man. I paid you $20, and here you go off of $2,500 worth of. Oh, my gosh. Ad-libbing. I don't know. Oh, boy.
Even toddlers, onesies, mugs.
Yeah.
like he's got.
Yeah, mugs like I got. Yeah, and speaking of onesies, TJ, if you're listening, I got some on order for you, baby, from eBay. Okay, via the shop, baby. I'm just
Oh,
saying
no.
onesies. Yeah. Finish your thought.
Yeah. So simply put, if we were to look at this just from our context and say, okay, to buy a team is it's $200, and all right, great, we're gonna spend that $200, and it can't bankrupt us in the process, right? I can't give them my last $200 because you still have to run the team,
All right,
which
exactly.
requires money. Now,
Right. You can't
what the
buy.
NFL
You can't pay $200 for the car and not have gas money to put in the thing. Got it.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
And so it further emphasizes your point about how much money these people actually have, the Waltons, etc. And so it's frustrating because of, to your point, that, hey, and again, we, as noted on this show, that it wasn't until like the mid 70s that any franchise had ever asked for help, right? What's going on in Vegas now is apparently the Tropicana is now like upping their rates. So people are gonna have FOMO because that's where the new athletics facility is going. Before they demo it, you get one last shot to stay in the Trop. So this is what the world we're living in right now, and it is disturbing because, again, all of your points are absolutely valid, but from a business vantage point, they have created this, and that's why, as you pointed out, you've kind of lost that. It relies on fans. It is fan driven and player driven. And unfortunately for folks like us, yes, I play for fantasy football. As you see that trophy back there, it's actually got to go because I lost this year. And then, it's had other things that have helped stabilize it that the others don't. But most importantly, competition. And that's why I'm always really promoting promotion relegation, because otherwise these teams and these owners will do the bare minimum. And you see that in certain cities, right, that have been historical.
Well, that's why I said that they're making
it's
the reason why all of these entities, these sports entities, I should be more specific, are making these changes to their rules and such, and how the game is played, if you will. Something is not, you don't make Adam Silver just came out and said he's getting ready to take a look at whether or not, if the offenses are too heavily favored, if I'm saying that right or paraphrasing. Why are you doing that if you don't think you don't fix nothing if you don't think it's a problem, or you don't even mention that we're looking into? Like, same thing with the NCAA and this NIL and all that type of. Now Nick Saban's talking about some. Yeah, I think players should get paid, but they shouldn't be employees or whatever the case. There's a problem, and the problem stems from those who running it was running all the dollars in their pockets. Now they got to dispense and disperse to some other folks, okay? And they're not happy about it. Again, it's always the bottom line. But let me say this right quick. We talk about not politics. We talk about entertainment. To me, that's broad or ambiguous. Because what is entertainment to you? Not you literally, figuratively. What is entertainment to you? If what you're seeing now is what's entertaining to you, then that says a lot about you as being entertained, as one who's being entertained. Okay? It says a lot about the audience. If what we're seeing now is what's hot, okay, and the way it is, and you look at it and it look bass awkward, then that's, to me, that shows me how dumb the audience is. I'm just gonna put it out there to tell you the truth. Because at the end of the day, and let me read this excerpt from the book. I've read this before, but I'm gonna read it again. We talk about entertainment. The entertainment media are the make-believe media. They make us believe. Today, very little of our make-believe is drawn from children's games, storytelling, folk tales, and fables. Very little from dramas and dreams of our own making. Instead, we have the multi-billion-dollar industries of Hollywood and television to fill our minds with prefabricated images and themes. Pay attention to the subliminals when you're watching TV, movies, and so on and so forth. Nor are these just idle distractions, meaning these are somebody sat somewhere in the room and thought about how we're going to distract folks, okay? I will argue, Mr. Parenti says, that such images often have real ideological content. When they say art imitates life, okay. Worse still, they discourage any critical perception of the great and sometimes awful realities of our lives and socio-political system, implanting safe and superficial pictures in our heads. Even if supposedly apolitical in its intent, the entertainment industry is political in its impact. Hello? How can we speak of Hollywood films and television shows as being, quote unquote, purely entertainment? That'd be my issue. Well, it's entertainment. Well, what does that mean? As being purely entertainment when they regularly propagate certain political themes and carefully avoid others. So this is by design. And for those people who are cool with the ways it's being designed, that's what I got a problem with. Please, if you come to me, all it's going to take is 5 minutes. And I'm not saying I'm all this and all that, by no means. But if you want to come to me with this garbage, it's going to take me 5 minutes to realize if you're going to get 5 minutes more. If once I see that it's not going nowhere, then I'm getting off. Long gone are the days. I'm not about to go back and forth with you for 45 minutes over some stuff. I just read to you all what's happening here. Prefabricated is the term that they use. And pay attention to the verbiage in this now. Television has become one of our society's principal repositories. Do you know what repository means? Yeah, of ideology. Huh? Repository, meaning in other words, we're going to dump it. We're going to, that's the container for which we're going to dump the garbage. You see what I'm saying? But everybody's like, oh, well, that's the way the game been changed. I know that. Don't make a blanket statement. The game doesn't change. Has it changed for the better? And listen, don't take it from me. Pick a sport. Some sports governing bodies are really taking a look at how things are shaking out. That's why they getting ready to start making changes. Come on, man. It's unbelievable, man. You know what I mean? It's wholly unbelievable. But anyway, before we get into my gosh, we about 40 minutes in and we still ain't even discussed no March Madness or no Gridiron, but it's okay. We get into it. I just want to say this last thing about this Fake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. Here are some of the rules. Now, before they even announced the rules, I'm like, man, it's a publicity stunt. And you know what I don't know, which I haven't seen yet? How much is the fight supposed to be? How much is this? Well, I'm not even calling it a fight. Whatever this Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing, how much is it supposed to be?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen any of the specifics on it.
Yeah, keep your eye out.
Actually, no. It's free. It's free. It's as long as you are a Netflix subscriber. That's it. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, then it ain't free because Netflix costs $2. But I get you. Okay. In other words, it ain't $69.99.
Right.
Okay. Because right now, even though it's 20 years later, and I'm being facetious, that's a word. I just made it up. Would you pay $99.95 to see Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fight again at this stage? Absolutely not. You get what I'm trying to tell you? But let me ask you this. Would you pay $79.95 to see Mike Tyson fight Anthony Joshua? You wouldn't?
No, not at this age. I mean, I watched him fight, 2-3 years ago. I want to say in that
Okay.
position.
All right. That's
He-
fair.
But he looked his age a little bit. I mean, looked great for his age.
Yeah.
But so as far as this, I mean, I hate to say it, I keep applauding Jake Paul because he keeps essentially spitting in the face of every purist and every arrogant individual that is running boxing today, because he's saying it can be done and I'm going to do it better than you. And I'm going to show you in the process that you are simply refusing to open the door that is in front of you. And
okay, so let me ask you this though: is he fighting guys whose parents put them in this sport when they was 4 or 5 years old, and they've been doing it? Is he fighting Canelo Alvarez?
Sure, he's called out Canelo multiple times. Canelo's ducking him. That's the funniest part about this. Canelo will not fight him.
You know why Canelo won't fight him?
Because
you know why Canelo won't fight him? Because Jake Paul, fake Paul, is not a real boxer, bro. He's not. I'm not about to waste my time.
But here's the thing: at what point? Look, if he goes and somehow, all of us are expecting Mike Tyson to knock this guy out.
No, we're not, because I'm getting ready to read the rules. Listen, before I saw the rules, I was not. I said, man, it's something in the game, man. It's no way Mike Tyson, even at 57, Mike Tyson done been in the ring with world-renowned fighters.
That's
Jake
right.
Jake Paul fought the guy who does advertisements for Shark.
That's right.
He
fought an MMA guy and put him to sleep the same way that Anthony Joshua just did. And
that's an MMA guy.
Hang on a second. Anthony Joshua just fought an MMA guy over the weekend.
Okay,
this is what I mean about double standards. Look,
no.
Now it's cool for boxing guys to fight MMA guys.
I don't like it either way. You're talking to a purist. I don't like it either way.
But this is then these people need to get out of their way and start fighting. If you're a fighter, fight.
Okay, that's been my contention all along. But here's what I'm saying to you. In this particular case, this is an exhibition. Okay.
Of course.
Here go the rules. Mike Tyson cannot knock KO Jake Paul.
What do you mean?
Jake, I'm reading the rules. These are the rules for the Jake Paul Mike Tyson upcoming bout, or whatever you want to call it. Mike Tyson cannot knock out Jake Paul. Jake Paul can wear a helmet. Mike can't. Mike will be pre-fight tested for performance-enhancing substances. Jake will not. And then Jake Paul can legally tag his brother Logan into the fight. But this is boxing.
That's an exhibition.
That's okay then. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, I don't discredit Jake Paul for capitalizing. He caught a nice little, like a salmon up. He caught a nice little flow on the stream, and he getting a couple dollars. I ain't mad at him for that. Get your money, bro. But I draw the line where people try to be like, now listen. I seen Dooku Kim get killed in the ring, and I forget the other guy who got paralyzed.
So then, why did Mike Tyson agree to it then?
Because Mike Tyson know already, doggone, it's the publicity for him, man.
But this is what I mean. Then he understands the risks. Look, I don't think Mike Tyson thinks he's going to get paralyzed from Jake Paul.
No, he's not. I'm talking about. Listen. This is bad just on all fronts, bro.
I'm with you that it's disturbing that we have to worry about Logan Paul jumping from the top rope. By
that's really.
Where's the Undertaker going to come out next?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Hardy. Dude. Yeah, right. Where the Uso brothers at when you really need them?
Oh, I was with him in the beginning on this, but. Okay, now I'm wearing a helmet, and we're gonna. It's a handicap match.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. This is, bruh. I have Netflix, and I'm telling you right now.
Right, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Trust and believe. Listen.
Nasir, if you see this, you tell me if he watches that.
No, I'm telling you right now. Khalil and Nasir will tell you. I already told them. If I don't have to, I'll make sure I go into work that night. That's number one. If they don't want me to come in and I'll be at home, fine. I'll take the time of being at home. But I told Khalil and Nasir, if y'all think y'all gonna put that on my TV, the TV that I bought, the internet that I'm paying for, everybody in the house is getting a whooping. Okay. No. And when I tell you to go get me a switch and you come back with that little matchstick, I'm gonna go get a Sequoia. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Okay, yeah, Boyer. This is some bull crap, man. I'm not going to even listen. I'm not even about to entertain this nonsense. Okay, whatever Mike's reasons are for doing this, that's Mike. All right, to each his own. But BSJ, I ain't about falling for the BS. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's start the show. Official Larry. All right, our first item on the menu is the Gridiron. It's only a few things here I want to discuss. And one of them being Chiefs Chris Jones becomes the highest paid D tackle in NFL history, agents say. What does that mean? What does that really mean? Highest D tackle in NFL history. What does that mean?
Well, it's a relative term, because that statement changes almost weekly, or at least every, we'll call it 3 to 5 years, right? Because of a fluctuating salary cap, and we'll call it, again, when I point to when we just a week ago, we pulled up the salaries of the quarterbacks. And again, as you pointed out, guys like Watson were, under the microscope. But when any quarterback signs a deal, a lot of people, there's two schools of thought now, one of which is that was really smart or that was really stupid, based on, ultimate, not even how they perform after the fact. It's just based on how that number is going to change. So I'll take you back to 2016, maybe a little earlier, and that trade goes down with Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff, both around the $25 to $32 million range. And at the time, those salaries were actually considered a little bit elevated. As we look now, that couldn't be further from the truth. They're more in the middle of the pack. Baker Mayfield, who just signed his 3-year deal, is going to be, again,
Baker got 100. Baker got what was his the guarantee? I didn't see what he got guaranteed.
In the 30s.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm trying to say, man. What owners are worth, and the salary cap keep going up based on TV deals and such. Players worth. I mean, what players are what players get guaranteed should be way more.
Here's the thing, though. This has been said before, especially here in Detroit, because it occurred. Didn't do very well, but I applaud the attempt. When they were really, really bad, they had they picketed the team. And they said, if you really want them to change something, you have to hit them where it hurts, which is their pockets.
I've been saying that for the longest. The bottom line, stop paying for it.
And that was the thing. Something I had always looked at was that the Lions were always pretty much not selling out, but they were pretty darn close, because they would have local blackouts for the game, which
that's another thing I forgot to mention. And you're gonna charge me I can only watch it on certain platforms. Man,
yes, sir. It's only going to get worse. You saw what they sold that playoff game for to Amazon?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I'm not I'm not mad at nobody being a fan, but at what point do reality get a seat at the table?
And so again, I will reiterate that to any fan of any franchise. If you want them to change something, now this isn't unfortunately applicable. There's a lot of teams, like I'll point to, again, I'm going to go back to the UK, and I'm going to go to, oh man, they were not Newcastle, but that's a close one. There was a team in the early 2000s that was very good, and they mismanaged it financially too. And they fell off a cliff, and they just got back up to the Premier League. It took 20 years.
Yeah.
And so
it seems like soccer should be the standard for all of these other teams. It should be the example.
Look, and don't get me, I tread carefully on that, because we've seen corruption with FIFA specifically.
Oh yeah.
However, there is a lot of checks and balances. And unfortunately, sometimes some teams get left footing a bill that they can't afford, right? Because it is a dice roll. And so some of these safeguards, like MLS has, are meant to do that, are meant to prevent that type of financial peril. Look, we're talking about people that can wipe their tears with $100 bills. They don't get a whole lot of sympathy from the masses. And I'm not expecting that for them. I'm merely pointing out other ways in which wanting to support a team and versus what we see here with that NFL model and how drastically different they are. Because all of the reasons you've listed are absolutely valid. And you have, and I think they understand that's why the Super Bowl was on Nickelodeon. I keep reiterating these.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's become comical. All of it's become. That's why I was on Nickelodeon. Yeah, hit you with the green splash, gook, the muck, or whatever they call it. Gunk. Some Chiefs Dolphins fans now need amputations, according to Dr. Megan L. Garcia, a general surgeon at Kansas City's Grossman Burn Center. She also says, yes, this is why every time you all talk about going down to the stadium, this is why I don't go down there. I've had my run on going down to, especially when it was, ask anybody that remembers Municipal Stadium.
Hang on, I gotta Google this. What? Give some context here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mrs. Garcia also says that 70% of the patients who attended that bitter cold wild card game, remember?
Yes.
Okay. Are being advised to schedule amputations. And here's add a little bit more insult to all the Saltonaries. At kickoff, the temperature was -4 with a -27 degree wind chills. The fourth coldest ever recorded game in NFL history. A history most noting, I might add. Most notable, noteworthy. Go figure that.
Now, wait a minute. I was at the coldest Bears-Packers game.
Well, it's according to this, I forget where I got the story from. It might have been NFL.com. According to this, or Yahoo, actually, well, one of the two. According to this, it was the fourth coldest.
Now, so something I'm going to ask you, because there's a proposal out there right now, which is to not move the Bears, which they were going to move to the suburbs. They had knocked down the old racetrack in Arlington Heights. Actually, this is out in the Chicago burbs right now. And instead, my guess is somewhere near in the south side, probably still along, Lakeshore Drive for context. They were going to build another stadium there. And so my guess is somewhere near the Field Museum. Again, unfortunately, lower income area. It's of course where they typically do those kind of things. The old Cabrini Green, if you remember, is where the Big Ten headquarters is currently.
Really?
Yep. So
it's been a while since I've been to that part of Chicago, but my gosh, because last time I was there, I had hair. So I can tell you, they was riding mules and camels and stuff back then, okay? Wild horses. I'm just saying.
But they were suggesting, or not in the proposal, it of course taxpayer funded. Conveniently sneak that in there. They were going to put a dome. And so Michael Wilbon, of course, Chicago guy, says no to the dome. That was his final thoughts on PTI the other day.
Yeah, no, because football has been played in this outdoors. I get, this outdoor thing.
So you're telling us this thing right now. And this is in the midst of a new proposal, right? The Lions are in a dome. We don't have to worry about that. I get garage parking. I'm pretty much in the clear here. Even my Tigers tickets I have an overhang. So if it rains I call them the sardine seats, they get, they get wet and I get to watch them run and I can stay in my padded chair. So
you can have a dome and still get your outdoor elements mixed in. You get retractable or whatever the case may be. I don't know.
What's
or something
the biggest gripe you hear about those?
I'm gonna tell you what the biggest gripe in Cleveland is that they don't have one, and that stadium sits down there on that lakefront, not being utilized. But you're asking fans to pay. You want $1 billion from taxpayers now for it to only be used 18 weeks out the year?
This is what's so entertaining to me. This is where I get my entertainment, because this is the fun give and take of this all. Because you're absolutely right. I think it's just a joke. It's a joke for someone to ask me for me to fund something that is used 8 to 9 times
out of year. Yeah. Oh, I said 18 games. You're right.
Oh, but it's going to be a mixed use facility. We're going to have WWE SummerSlam, in which
shout out to that, though. Shout out to that. Okay, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Now we're all right with that.
Absolutely. I'm definitely all right with SummerSlam, baby. Absolutely. Shout out to the SummerSlam. 2 times. Absolutely.
This is ridiculous. No way.
I'm off down for the summer. Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. I was already on the site yesterday looking to see how much I signed up for some pre-ticket thing or whatever it is. They said, we'll let you give us your email. We'll let you know. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
I can't lie that a conversation was had in my household about that either. So
yeah, I'm just trying to tell you.
But again,
that's what you got to do, though. If you're asking fans to pay what they're paying to go sit in, you have to bring SummerSlams. You have to do that. But
how many of these really are? A lot of people, their biggest complaints, right, besides a concert, right? I think Ford Field's notorious for, maybe not as many as Little Caesars Arena has had, but again, definitely they've had their fair share. Typically, some of the larger ones are held there. So again, let's just say, okay, you could throw in a country concert in the summer at that venue. You throw in the hockey, college hockey, we'll call it, right? Your original use, and then a SummerSlam. Is that enough?
No, it's not enough. You're asking a rhetorical question. You should be. Well, I got to get to one of those, them hockey classics. Man, hey, the last one looked like it was all. That's something that you go to. See, that's one. And here's the difference between an event. Most people, somebody mentioned that too about the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing. I don't mean to really go back there, but just brought this up. That's the difference, though. An event. If you look up what the definition of an event is, you're not even going there because you're involved or love the sport. You're just going there because it's the place to go that night. So that's crass, for lack of a better word or term. But I don't have a problem. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not. Because of what the cost involved in building these stadiums. Okay. And again, I mentioned sitting in them, parking to get to them, and all of that, or whatever it is. Bruh, put it like this. And this might be a bad parable or analogy, but I'm gonna throw it out here. Do you know anybody that owns a Peloton?
Yeah, a few.
Okay. And how often do they use it? Once a year?
No, this group is a passionate group. I've noticed if you're paying for it, you're not putting laundry on it,
Okay, that's my point. So it's okay, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So if you're gonna spend that kind of, because I don't know how much a Peloton costs, but I know one thing. I've seen them, and trust and believe. You ain't gonna the couch change ain't gonna cut it. All right.
Nope.
You don't need a whole lot more.
It's got TV on it.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. It's like flying American. Well, not here lately, but anyway. What I'm saying is, if you're the cost involved of building this thing, you can't use the Peloton 3 times a year. You just can't do it.
Valid.
That's what I'm trying to say. You can't use the Peloton 3 times a year and think, okay. And then a lot of your friends, when they come over for, grandma's fruitcake night at Thanksgiving or whatever it is, I'm saying terrible fruitcake, by the way. I'm just saying. And just, I got me a Peloton. What are you bragging for? You still look pudgy.
Yeah. Can't say you're running. No.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But no, they got to do something, because number one, again, I told you, this is in part the reason why I don't go to the stadium anymore. Bruh, I sat in playoff games when it wasn't a frozen tundra, but it might as well have been. It felt like it. Man, when I say your toes, bruh, you could, no. And they saying people at that game, amputations? Is it worth losing a limb going say, so I was at that game, but I ain't got my arm no more? Oh, absolutely not.
Look, I'm going to point out a few things. If the Buffalo game, they had to have the fans shovel, right? They offered fans who shoveled a free ticket, right?
Okay. Hold that
And
thought. We're
so-
gonna go to a commercial break, y'all. We'll be right back. Don't you touch it. Put it down. I said put it down. You understand me?
It's Kate Cunningham, you watching the Shop Report.
I'm Harvey Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report.
My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report.
Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Edwards from Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
All righty then. We are back. It's not worth it to me. I'm not getting nothing amputated. Not for the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Indians, the Cavs, the Mud Hens, the Charge, and nobody else. I'm not getting amputated. No, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying?
hang on. I'm going to tell you this, and this is where I want the economics of it to come into play. I had a guy who's actually his cousin. He was at the game on Monday. His cousin
What game?
is at the game, the Pistons game today.
Okay, all right.
So he went Monday in our stead. Again, I give good deals, right? At least face value for people that I know, and still hundreds better than StubHub. But I told him, based on what's included, like you said, that parking is ridiculous, and not only with how much it costs, then how much you pay for food. Before you know it, you've actually paid more, and this is what I did, and that's what incentivized me to actually go and inquire about getting the floor seats to begin with, because I had a very difficult discussion with myself about how much I had spent the season prior and what I had ultimately missed out on. And so, again, something worth looking into for those that are looking for, again, just a one-off game or something like that. You get a lot more bang for your buck in that respect. Otherwise, you will get nickeled and dimed for every nickel and dime that you have.
So let me ask you this. There's an expression: when you know better, you should do better, right?
Well, that's like that. With age should come wisdom.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Because once I started, again, when I was in my early teens, late teens, early 20s, even late 20s, I had an allegiance to the Browns, the Cavs, but once I started reading about the behind the scenes and talking to players, my guy told you a couple of cats I know that played with the Browns, know a couple of Cavs players, Guardians players, whatever. I get to talking to these guys, and I got to thinking, like, wait a minute, man, who's the fool here? Okay, it's not. At some point, your fandom goes to a point where it's doggone foolish. I'm sorry to tell you. Okay.
Especially when it's a 10-win team.
Bruh, listen, I go to a 9 to 5 every day and work overtime so I can pay season tickets for. I said, you know what? I'm not done with all of that. I told you, I called the Browns, the Indians, the Guardians, and the Cavs one time. A couple of friends and I, we were going to get suites, like for a particular game or whatever the case may be. Man, I called the Guardians. They were the more. Now, if I had to spend some money to go to a game now, I'm going to a baseball game before any. And I grew up football, basketball. You understand? I grew up with baseball too, but no, I'm telling you right now, because at least here, the Guardians, every game I've ever gone to, the Guardians, I felt like I got my money's worth. And it did not kill my pockets to go.
Right.
And not just me. I took the kids, the grandkids, that type of deal. It was really actually an experience. You know what I'm saying? So I called them to inquire about what a suite would cost for, I don't know, whatever game against the Tigers or whatever the case may be. And the lady gave me a number. 2,500, I think was it at the time. I said, oh, okay. You know, you get about 5 or 6 friends. Boom. You know, that's doable. Okay. I called the Cavs. The lady laughed at me initially. I said, what kind of joke did I just tell? Okay. Don't make me call your superiors. All right. Okay. Or make it be no ulterior motives. I'm just saying. Okay. The number that she gave me, bruh, I would have had to work overtime for the whole year. Okay. Just to get through the turnstile. I'm just saying. When I called the Browns, okay. Now, mind you, this is at a time when the Browns, the only thing worth going down to the stadium to see was Josh Cribbs. I had to leave a message, number one. Number two, kindly, the lady called me back. And without, let me just put it this way. She said to me in so many words, you know, it's like going to get a Rolls Royce. If you go into the Rolls Royce dealership and ask them how much is this one, they're going to politely redirect you right out the door. You don't see no Rolls Royces being advertised on TV. Okay, you see Subaru, Hondas, Volkswagens, Kias, and everything else. But if you go into a Rolls Royce dealer, you already know what you're going to spend. And I said, "Excuse me." She said, "We appreciate you, but on that note," she basically hit me with my line. Where do you think I got it from? In other words, don't call here asking how much it costs. We the Browns, baby. We the biggest game in town. Listen, when Jimmy Haslam bought them, they were worth $1 billion. Look it up. And go look at what their record was before, when he bought them, and right after he bought them. It was about the same. So you tell me, I'm just asking people, what are you paying for? I ain't knocking nobody's fandom because I'm a fan still of the sport. But teams and players and stuff, I might like a team or like a guy. Oh, he nice or whatever it is. But the investment, you got no, I'm not vested at all. Like I said, my fandom now is conditional, as would be anything else that I spend money on. Okay? Right. If I go buy a product and what I bought ain't in the box as it's supposed to, y'all claim it to be, then I don't wait. I take it right back. I don't sign up the next week and the next week and the next week and the next week and then be arguing with folks talking about something. That's my team. I bleed brown and orange. Okay, yeah, that's what you're going to be doing, bleeding, after you see them prices. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you.
Look, again, and I think, unfortunately, it's just circumstantial that, you know, the marketing is effective, right? Because, like you admitted, one point in time, that was you. Right. Yeah, it's not the case anymore. Not for myself as well. I think both of us having personal relationships with players exposes you to the other side of it. Yeah.
Goes a long way.
And at that point, you can never really see it, the illusion for what it was or what they claimed it to be.
Right. And I'll tell you this too. Bear with me. I thought I had it here. Doggone it. Who's the lady, her brother. Oh, I thought I saved it. Her brother, Jason Taylor was her brother. Joy Taylor.
That's her brother?
Yeah, Joy Taylor. Yeah,
the lady from Colin Cowherd show?
I think, I don't know what show she's from. Dag nabbit, I thought I had it. Joy Taylor. I thought I saved it. But anyway, she mentioned, you talk about relationships with players and whatnot in so many words. I thought I had saved it. Apparently I didn't. I don't know why. But she mentioned how her brother, having played in the NFL, is what gave her the perspective that she has, because she's one of the few people I like listening to. Do you understand? It gave her a perspective contrary to what.
I bet listening. You're just listening, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, my gosh, I got eyes. I mean, I need glasses, but still, right. I don't need no glasses.
I'm just saying. All right.
Hey, okay. I'm just saying. In other words, this is why I mention all the time. My point is, when you actually get a chance to talk to players who are playing or who have played, it gives you a different perspective on what's so doggone funny over there. I mean, my gosh, you know, we finna take a break. No, we're not right now. We're gonna take one about a minute 15. We got a few more minutes. But anyway, lastly, on our NFL gridiron subject, I just want to know the NFL draft right quick. Do you want to see Caleb Williams go number 1?
Absolutely not, for his sake.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either. And then 2, some of the moves that were made a couple of days ago, Russ going to the Steelers, Derrick Henry, and of course, Jerry Jeudy is with the Browns. Here's what I have to say right quick on all three.
Go ahead and poo-poo on Jerry Jeudy. Just do it.
No, I'm
come
not
on.
going.
Come on.
First of all, we're still looking
dog
for
poo daily. Come on.
First of all, we're still looking for a David Bell sighting. That's what we're doing here in Cleveland. Then two, Russ going to the Steelers. Look, man, I don't say what you will or what you want about him. He was a friend of mine that came in the shop. Maybe when he was with Seattle, he used to always say, "Man, Russ ain't elite," and we was like, man." He's like, "Man, he's not elite." Well, I mean, just kind of didn't play itself out here lately, or whatever the case may be. But going to that team is not just going to any team. Let me remind folks, all right? And I'm saying this to you all as a person who still watches the Browns. Okay, I want to see the Browns do well. I do. Okay.
Go ahead.
But I'm saying this, but I'm not the type of Browns fan that hate the Steelers because of who they have been, because the Browns have not been. Okay? Now say that fast one time. The Steelers have had 3. Can y'all 1, 2, 3, 4? Does that 4 fingers I got up? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here right now. All right. 3 head coaches in my lifetime. And the Browns have had how many? 3,300? I'm just saying, put that in, in its proper context, and then I'll let you do the rest. But at the end of the day, him going to them, now they don't play the game. Everybody want to use stats and all that. They don't play the games on paper, people. They play the games on the field or on the court, okay? That's where I want to see it. So right now it's all on paper. We don't know. It's still got to play itself out. But him going to them, yeah, make me want to itch and scratchy on the beard side, baby.
I'm a little surprised by the Deontay Johnson move, though. You would have thought that addressing, especially at a vet minimum, right? Because he's getting $34 million from Denver to get out of town, which is just anybody want to do that at any point in time, by all means.
Yeah, and some people was killing him for taking $1 million. Ain't that the veterans minimum, the $1 million or whatever?
Can't take any lower than that.
Yeah, I know. But even still, they was like, man, why you take $1 million? Listen, he getting $38 million from the Broncos. Okay. Right. I'll take 25 cents if I know I'm getting $38 million guaranteed. And I used to work for you and I don't no more, and you still got to pay me that kind of money. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Whatever the next guys offer me, you darn right. I'll deliver packages. Okay. I'll be a medical courier for 28 cents, knowing that I'm getting $38 million. Absolutely.
This is where you give the agent, make sure they get something nice, around
yeah, no question. Yeah, it's no question. As far as Jerry Jeudy going to the Browns, hey, listen, that's an intriguing move. But let me tell you this right now. We already established when we did our divisionals, and I think we're going to do it different this upcoming season. We're going to do conference maybe so we can get through it all. But anyway, the AFC North is the toughest division in football. It's the litmus test. It is. You got to be a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. You got to be one of them type of guys to survive the AFC North. I'm sorry. But, bruh, I don't know why people not paying attention, but that injury that Deshaun Watson had, did you hear what they said about it?
No.
They said that had he took one more, I don't know if they were just spinning or what, embellishing or what. They said that he took one more hit to that shoulder, his career would have been over. So here's what I'm saying to you.
Dang.
I could want what I want for you. But if you don't want it for yourself, it ain't gonna matter how bad I want it for you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So Stefanski, I got my issues with Stefanski, but this ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm sure they are telling him, look, man, you need to get out of harm's way. But if his instincts and the way he plays won't allow him to make that adjustment, bro, I'm fearful for the guy, man.
Whoa. Look, other than that Baltimore game, he wasn't killing people on the ground. I thought he was he tried to stay
he only
in
had
the
130
pocket.
something. He only had 130 some yards passing in that game.
That's why I wonder
with
he
his
was
legs.
hurt longer than maybe we knew that. We knew it, right? That's why we had seen kind of the quarterback carousel take place throughout the season.
Yeah,
I just they never
his shoulder was that bad, bro.
Right, exactly.
That's not
they should have shut him down.
Well, I don't know.
See, and now this is where this is where Haslam is, crowing from the top rope, right? That's where now you're having they're not a fireside chat amongst all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that occurred probably more than once throughout that season. That's why part of what you're suggesting is semi-concerning, because who was typically it's management, right? And part of me is concerned that it was not this time.
What do you mean it was not this in regards to what?
That it was Deshaun
that said what?
I want to keep going. Have you ever heard of you have to save a player from themselves sometimes?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, take his helmet or whatever. Iverson did that on his run to the finals that year. Until I go buy my jersey and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, that to me, basketball, you can get away with that. Football, it's a human car crash every play. So if I take your helmet, then you can't play for the rest of the day.
So then why are we trading for receivers right now? Why is it not offensive line? We talked about that at nauseam.
Well, no, they did. They got one of the Bengals offensive linemen, but I don't know if he was where he was graded at according to Pro Football Focus, because I don't know why would you get a Bengals offensive lineman and knowing they can't even protect Joe Burrow. So I'm just saying,
right? Of any place,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is why. Listen, all I'm trying to tell you all is, hey, GMs get fired. Okay, so it ain't like they don't get fired. Okay, they get fired for reasons. All right. Now can't explain the Milwaukee Bucks. I know different sport, but the premise is the same. I can't explain why they would get rid of Mike Budenholzer, who won the championship, and then bring in two guys. Oh, anyway, that's another sport for another day. I just had to go on a quick rant right quick. Yeah, but I like the Jerry Jeudy move. But here's the thing: Joe Flacco ain't here no more. They went and got Jameis Crab Legs Winston.
Oh,
yeah, they did. You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, listen. What did I tell you what have I been saying from the onset?
I'm not a fan of the finger licking good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't do that again. I hope Miss Alva ain't watching. Anyway, whatever y'all do when the camera's off, ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't none of my business. What I'm saying to you is when your favorite team makes moves, okay, personnel moves, all I'm asking you to do is separate, because with fandom comes emotion. Okay. And sometimes it can boil over and it can blind us, so to speak. It just, if on a half a second, remove the emotion just for a minute and ask yourself, do the moves make sense according to you as a fan? And don't tell me you ain't got a right to have a claim or a say, because you're paying for it.
So this is what I'm asking you for that reason.
Sense. I told you. Ken Dorsey getting rid of Bill Callahan, getting rid of Stump Mitchell, getting rid of the tight ends coach. Okay, when the players at each one of them positions were having some of their best seasons under them guys, you get rid of those guys and you bring in guys. Listen, hey, I'm telling you something. There's no disrespect to the ladies or the fellas out there. I'm just using this as an example. If you are a lady or a fella and you got a significant other and y'all decide to part ways, the next go round for whoever it is, there's somebody else, you don't same grade, you upgrade. And you definitely don't downgrade. Okay? I'm just saying. Tell me.
Remember, there's somebody running around there right now how
is Ken Dorsey an upgrade over Alex Van Pelt?
We've talked about this. Are you sure you want to go down this road?
I didn't get he's not no upgrade, man. Stop it. He's a clipboard holder, just like he was when he was at the Miami Hurricanes, man.
He was not at the U.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he had, I tell you what, two dynamic tight ends. You know how many careers Ken Dorsey made? And not to
Ken Dorsey didn't. No, stop it. Listen, man. Okay, that's what you finna do. Okay, I see what you finna do. You trying to bait me. It ain't about to happen. Ken Dorsey made, man. Please stop it. Anyway, let's
Jeremy Shockey.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, they obviously
floor crew.
Yeah, they made him.
Greg Olson.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then why is it that when these guys went to the NFL and didn't have Ken Dorsey, their careers blossomed?
Well, Rex Grossman was Greg's quarterback.
Who? No, he wasn't. Greg Olson?
No, he was not. First came in the league. Absolutely.
Well,
I was there.
In the league.
I was there.
Okay, well,
I was on the team. We were playing games on Saturday nights.
Oh, yeah. That's what you talking about when he first came to the league. I'm just saying. All of these Miami guys that played at the skill positions when they would work Ken Dorsey went to the NFL and balled out. Okay?
So how did
So
Josh
it ain't-
Allen do with Ken Dorsey?
I don't know, but look at his INTs. Just like missed threes. Everybody want to count the makes, but don't anybody want to count the attempts.
Now, but remember, he's
Okay.
holding the clipboard, right? Where's the accountability on the quarterback?
What do you mean?
Whose fault is it?
Whose fault is what?
They didn't have a run game. You give Josh Allen,
my
you plug
gosh, here
Josh
we
Allen
go.
into this system,
Oh my god!
and that's what I
Well,
think they're
guess what,
trying to
then?
do here.
Well, then guess what? Then if Ken Dorsey is such the commodity, then why they get rid of him?
Well, because
Yeah,
their
exactly. There you
offense
go.
was-
Explain it.
Well, they had success, but unfortunately for Buffalo, they got in their own way.
So and Ken
their
Dorsey ain't had
quarterback
nothing in
an
the way of
injury
doing.
too
He ain't
last
had no
year.
way of doing. He didn't get in the way. He wasn't one of the ones in the way.
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, all right, because you want to believe.
I think he
I'm
was a
trying to tell you.
scapegoat. I think he was a scapegoat. Very similar.
Okay.
I mean, look, truth be told, I think Van Pelt was also.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Let me tell you something personally, okay? How I feel about Ken Dorsey being in the Browns quarterback room at all, like I do Dan Orlovsky and Chris Sims and all these other guys who talk
Wait a
about what a
minute.
quarterback is. Dan
Orlovsky was on the Lions when Kevin was on the Lions. So was Dan Campbell. See, I was
Okay.
around that group.
Okay, what I'm telling you is all of these guys who talk about quarterbacks now, listen, if you was garbage as one, I'll take a former player like a Barry Sanders talking about running backs or Thurman Thomas talking about running backs than I would somebody like Kajana Carter.
Okay, but how many great players became great coaches?
We're not talking about coaches. We're
We're talking about coaching again. Here you you wandered right down that road.
No, absolutely not. I'm not talking about coaching per se. I'm talking about
I love it.
I'm not
Where's
listening
Rich
to
when
you
I
as
need
a
him?
former player and you was garbage. Okay, I'm not listening to you. If I'm a current player, I'm like, wait, I'm gonna go look up what your resume is, and your resume say what? You shouldn't even been on the front box
Someone
of a
did that
Fruit
to
Loop
Stephen A.
box.
Smith. They brought up his college stats.
Okay. Well, listen, okay, again. All right. Yeah, we talking about, okay. Anyway, who's paying attention to anything that they saying? I'm not. Okay.
You're out of
Anywho, yeah.
control.
Yeah, okay. That's what they all say. Anyway, and on that note, we're gonna switch things over. We're gonna talk about some basketball right now because this is ridiculous. Our last item on the menu for this edition of the P-Rogram. Matter of fact, we're gonna get y'all a little Eddie G's. You know what? I tell you what, if the Browns do make the Super Bowl, even if they make the AFC Championship, because guess what? At least Bernie Kosar was able to give us some AFC championships, okay? And until you can at least
Or
do
you
that,
and him went to Dallas.
I don't know about that. Don't disrespect Jimmy Johnson. That's my boy. He ain't had nothing to do with this. I just threw him in there. But anyway, should the Browns even make to the Super Bowl, even if they get to the AFC Championship, this is gonna be your boy right here. I'm just telling you.
Unbelievable.
I'm just saying that's gonna be your boy. Anyway, our last item on the menu obviously is March Madness. It is upon a selection Sunday. Is this Sunday?
Yes, it's the where's who was that? Was that
slow down?
That
there,
wasn't
King Wasabi.
Sinatra singing that song, right? The most
What?
wonderful time of the year.
Oh my gosh. Did you really
Something
do
like that.
Yeah, okay. Well, if I was you, I wouldn't try that again. Selection Sunday is this Sunday, the 17th. Oh my gosh, here we go. I thought we almost got through a whole show with no Michigan State alums. Oh boy, shout out to Mrs. Allen. She's weighing in, saying something about Michigan State. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Terrible. March Madness, yeah. Selection Sunday is this Sunday, the 17th. Did I just say that already? Is that already?
That's
gosh,
right.
man.
That is
Okay.
right.
I don't know who's gonna be the number one seeds, but I really don't care because the tournament at that time of year, yeah, it don't matter. Your seeding don't really matter, as opposed to this is everybody is one and done. You got to be the one thing I do like still about the NCAA tournament is that fact alone. You can kiss the S barbershop, get ready to kiss the S baby. Oh wow, okay. The S is broken. Okay, right. How about that?
Uh-oh.
And now I talk about Hoboken from New Jersey, if that even made any sense.
Shout out Cake Boss.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. He messed his hand up, didn't he? He had some sort of accident. He can't even make cakes no more, from my
Well,
understanding.
he's got a plant manager now and everything's doing very well.
Oh, I ain't mad at him. I mean, saying whatever floats your boat. The NCAA tournament is one and done. You got to be on your best night that night. Otherwise, you go home. That's it. Your season is over. Imagine the pressure, man. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm gonna say this to you. Kentucky's Wagner Jr., obviously, Dillingham, and Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd is balling, baby.
You know, they put him in a mock draft. I just seen this as the #1 overall pick to the Spurs.
Okay, that's a mockery. Okay, and that's
yes,
something I would mock.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that you.
No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
No. That's ridiculous. I mean, I like him, but my gosh, whoever's mock draft, they shouldn't be making no drafts ever. Okay, right. Or whatever they do, their draft should be mocked. Excuse me. Reed Shepherd. That's a triple threat, literally. Kentucky right now, though, bro. I don't
want nothing to do with them. Okay. I had seen a projection where they were the #4 seed in the Midwest, which would pair them in Detroit with my guys. And I was not.
What you talking about against Purdue?
Yeah. And I wanted nothing to do with it.
And speaking of Purdue, I just want to tell you, I'm gonna keep saying the same thing that I've been saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's no reason why Zach Edey should get 78 touches a game.
Okay, but then they collapse on him. But this is where the difference is.
No, it's no different. No, it's not. We're talking basketball here now. Listen, J.B. Bickerstaff for the Cavs stumbled upon it by way of injury, unfortunately. He had remember I told you we talked about Garland and Mitchell and Allen and Mobley or whatever the case may be. I said all four can't be on the floor because for whatever reason he's still trying to figure out his lineup. But you've been with the Cavs now for how many years? But anyway, you still trying to figure it out. That's not a good sign. But by default, by way of injury, it actually hit him in the face. He's like, oh, if I play 2 of the 4 on the floor and spread them out with shooters, then I got something. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Zach Edey needs to touch the ball 100 times. Listen, I don't care who is and whatever. I don't care what position you play on the team other than him. If I'm Painter, hey, give it to him. But coach, he's got 5 guys on him. I don't care. Give it to him. The only way you get the ball back if you're anybody else on that Purdue team other than Zach Edey is if he getting triple and quadruple team, then you kick it out. That should be the formula. All of this dribble handoff and all of that stuff Purdue is doing it shouldn't, but I see it lending itself to their more so to their detriment, to their betterment. They do not utilize him correctly. They just don't. This is why I say what I say about him. No offense. I know you alum. The train is rolling, all that other good stuff, but they do not utilize him correctly. And if it befalls them, I will not be surprised. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. It just don't make no sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to ask you this. Go ahead. What you going to say?
Well, no, okay. I was going to point out that they had to adjust, and a lot of the non-conference that they played have won a combination of the regular season, and then those that won the regular season, for the most part, those that were in the same conference then won the conference tournament. So they saw a lot of different looks defensively, everything from 2-3 to 3-2 to box and 1 to man, and they found a way to work the inside-outside game.
So in other words, no matter how great the game is now in terms of all the threes being taken and whatnot, did you see that thing I posted in the Discord? The guy from Oakland in the Horizon League.
Yeah, I'm the one who showed you.
Did you? No, I posted it on. Oh, I don't know. I seen it somewhere. But anyway, the guy took 300 and some threes attempts and only 7 2-point attempts. Okay, yeah, all right. I know your threes beat 2s and all that other good stuff. But guess what though? What people fail to realize when they mention that basket comment, you gotta make them.
Right.
Because if you're missing all them threes and I'm making all my 2s, guess what? You going down 2. Period. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all right now. And look here, bro. The NCAA tournament. That's the one tried and true testament to basketball in its purest form, if you would, because you still only got one night to be your best. On any given night, you could be done, one and done. Purdue does not utilize Zach Edey to the extent that they should. Remember I said the souffle? You want if you're offense and you produce, especially with Zach Edey's the tallest player in college basketball right now. Wembanyama is gone already. Okay, even though he didn't play, I'm just in college. I'm just saying. You got to souffle the defense. The inside out is gonna work, bruh. You got you better your chances when a guy like him, you throw the ball inside. Your instinct is to collapse it from the inside. If you collapse from the inside, do you know how far the ball travels faster with a pass than it does with a dribble, right? So if I give it to Edey and the defense collapses and I kick it back out real quick to a shooter, do you think that the defender who collapsed can run in to cover that shooter faster than I can? Absolutely not. And guess what you're going to be doing all night as a defense? Running around like chickens with no heads.
The only time it seems to get them in trouble is a combination of if they don't shoot it, right? If they choose not to shoot the three.
Then one dribble
because they will swing it and then they will throw it back in.
Yeah, see, that's no. Okay, well then you got to listen. Then you ain't got to take a three. All I want is space. Zach Edey and his height and his ability will collapse a defense that will give shooters the space that they need to get clean looks at the basket, whether it's from 3 or 2. That's the game plan.
I think they figured it out. I really do. I will say this time, if it didn't, historically, I've always felt like, oh, there's an air of confidence, but there's a stark possibility that you'll see a collapse. And we've seen it last year leading into where they're at now. Despite winning the Big Ten conference title, they shoot the three better than I think they're top 5 in all of college basketball.
Who? Purdue?
Purdue does.
Yeah.
And defensively, they're a top 25 team. And that's the biggest improvement is defensively.
Okay. Well, then guess what? You can play. There's a certain style that will translate night in, night out, no matter, because every team that you face for each round of the tournament is going to bring something different. And I use this as an example. If you all are any type of martial arts type of fans, the movie that's a classic is The 5 Deadly Venoms. Each of the 5 had a different style. The snake, the crane, the toad, I forget the lizard, and I forget what the 5th one was. But there was a 6th Venom. He knew all of the styles. So if your style of play is a certain way, no matter who you're facing on any given night in each round of the tournament, you're going to be hit with a different style each night.
Exactly.
But if you play your game a certain way, no matter which style you face, you'll be able to withstand whatever they bring in. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to go back to the basics in the tournament, inside out, especially when you got a guy like Zach Edey, inside out, bro. And I'll live with the results. You know what I'm saying? Because if I do inside out with a guy like him, if you beat me, trust and believe, you're not gonna have enough for whoever you go with in the second round, because it's gonna take everything out of you in order to get that victory. Can the combination of ZZ and Dalton Knecht, my boy, SEC player of the year, baby, shout out, carry the Vols to this season's tourney finish? Will they be not only in the Final Four, but in the championship game?
Their point guard play is the only thing. Zakai Ziegler, who got hurt last season.
But ZZ is back, though.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ziegler, to me, I like the way that they play with him on the floor. And I'm going to point this out because, again, they played Purdue in November, right? And it was a close game. They beat Purdue, won by double digits, but it was a tight game for the most part. And when Zakai Ziegler was on the floor, the offense ran better. He made a mistake at the end of the game and towards the end of the game, and Rick Barnes seems to always just have him on a little bit of a shorter leash, and it kind of frustrates me a little bit, even though I'm not a fan of theirs. I've watched them naturally very close because I paid attention to our non-conference a lot, and them specifically because I felt like they had the formula to be a winner.
Yeah, but Barnes doing what he did, short leashing guys, that's what got him out of Texas.
Correct, and that's my concern.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Did you watch the game against Kentucky the other day?
No, I saw pieces and portions of it. I was at work.
Okay,
but I don't like when Barnes does that, though. I don't like when he does that, because now you gotta, as a player, if I'm talented, obviously I'm talented enough to be out there with the starting unit. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So you don't have me looking over my shoulder because now my mind is split. I can't be focused on the game and we trying to win a game. Imagine you doing that to me and we in the Sweet 16. Let me make a mistake, coach. As a player, I'm gonna take accountability. How many times have you seen a player make a mistake and be like, my bad. Okay, that means he knows he made a mistake. Allow me to have that moment. If I gotta worry about running the offense and looking over my shoulder to see whether or not you're gonna pull me, bruh, I'm a conundrum. Can't win like that. Let the player play. If he make a mistake, pull him to the side and say, hey, remember next time when you come off that curl, maybe look first and then then let him go back out there. But if you sitting him down, nah, bruh. No, I didn't like Barnes. Even at Texas, I didn't like him. Because he was at Texas, if I'm not mistaken, when Kevin Durant was at Texas. Was Barnes the coach?
Durant, he had who did I meet? Point guard. Probably arguably his best point guard, I would have said.
Yeah, number 11.
Yep.
I can't think of his name.
He played for the Pacers, briefly played for the Bulls, a few teams.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I can't think
but nevertheless, I've never seen him with any other player on that team, this current Tennessee roster.
Yeah.
When they made the run in 2019 where they went up against Purdue then in the tournament, Carson Edwards, went off and questionable foul call, but the right call.
Yeah. What happened to him?
Carson
Edwards,
he was with Pistons right around this time last year, and then now he's back overseas again.
Man.
I said hi to him. I talked to him briefly, but so never. I thought he was going to be here with Ivy when for that whole year, but they shipped him out of town. But unfortunately, but again,
bad.
He had guys like Grant Williams, right? That's still in the league, and he never seemed to do that with anyone else. And what he's doing with Ziegler is going to be the wild card in how far they go, because like you said, you can micromanage someone to death, and not just the player, but they are not the same team with him not on the floor.
No, they're not. They're not.
So just pay close attention to that.
Dalton plays off of ZZ very well.
All right, you get it.
He does. He plays off of ZZ very well. When ZZ's not there, Dalton still is Dalton, but in other words, Dalton is better when he's not the focus type. Like you got to wait, where's Dalton? Because ZZ is hurting you. You know what I'm saying? All the attention on him. Let me fall back. Let me fall to the back. You know what I'm saying? Let me be a background singer on this one. And then next thing you know, Dalton got 38, 27.
In transition, totally different. There's just his ability to find people. He's a better true point guard than anything else on that Tennessee roster. And that's why when they got him, I think he was a portal kid 2 years ago. He was such a quality addition. And that's why when he got hurt, they didn't make a run a year ago.
Will Kelvin Sampson and Jamal Shead do what fly? Oh my gosh, here we go with the misappropriation. My gosh, man. Gee, my knees, crickets. Kelvin Sampson and Jamal Shead and them Cougars, of course, from Houston. Will they be able to do what Phi Slamma Jamma couldn't?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. Okay, Marcus Sasser is currently a Piston, right? And LJ Cryer, who they had gotten from Houston, got from the portal from Baylor, is essentially who's playing his position this season. So again, you talked about Shed and Sasser couldn't do it, but Shed and Cryer, to me, it is tomato. That's my biggest concern with Houston, despite them being in the Big 12, knowing they've played better competition throughout the year. But then I watch these same teams get torched by BYU, who just, is shooting the lights out apparently. And I start to question every year. It seems like we
analyze
and overvalue a particular conference. And then it comes back to haunt us, typically by way of the bracket.
Yeah, because I told you before, the conferences, I don't know, man. It's so much movement and so many teams have left one and moved to another one, and now it's joining up. It's then got so convoluted. Am I using that word right? In this case, it's just so all over the place, man. I don't even try to keep up with it anymore. I just tune in to the conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament and then make my selections. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I don't have favorite teams and players no more, man, because it's just too much. It's just too much going on, man. Just too much movement going on. I mean, Houston, though, I will say, towards the latter part of this season, seemed to right the ship, and they got a little bit more steadier from game to game. You know what I mean? Like the stock market, like the earlier portion of the season, they were like most. Remember, I asked you, I said, like, who can hold the top 5 spots longer than 10 minutes? Mm-hmm. Everybody seemed to be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. The Cougars seem to have leveled out some. And Kelvin has been there with Oklahoma some years back. You know, he's been in the thick of things or whatever it is. Didn't he have Eduardo Nahara? Wasn't Nahara on that squad with him?
He had a few good players.
Yeah, he did.
I think he had did he have both of the Griffins too?
He may have. But I know what was the little point guard, number 10.
Oh, that's from Alabama too.
Yeah, but he had a couple nights, and if I'm not mistaken, he had a couple Sweet 16s and things of that nature. But this Houston squad, man, they look, they look right, like kind of lightweight dicey. And I mean dicey as in a way like they'll chop you up real one good time. Because when they clicking, they tough to beat, bro. They get on you quick and they run you up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Then they go sit down like, okay, who next? All right, and they've been far more consistent towards the latter part of this season than they were earlier in the middle portions.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I've seen 2 teams that are ranked.
Okay.
And so again, only 25 options, but these 2 are potentially both, or at least at one point, both were strong candidates for number 1 seeds. Both Kansas with Hunter Dickinson and Kevin McCullough, and Marquette with Tyler Kolek are opting to rest their players in their conference tournament.
Oh, man. That NBA thing is spreading. Listen. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. We talk about the game, just quoting the game and entertainment. How in the world do you get the most out of entertainment when these people not playing?
Wow, and this
is where left the other day for Jurassic. I'm saying, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Man, come on, man. Everybody talking about this, man. This all entertainment about the bottom line, about the dollar. Okay, that's fine. But if low management and entertainment should not be synonymous. They should not be, and they are. That's bad for business, bro. Listen, they talk about resting their players, bro, in a conference tournament.
Correct.
Okay, now mind you, now to help me to understand now, because it's been a minute. Okay, your conference tournament wins or losses can play a part in where you get placed at in the tournament, or if you make the big dance, right?
Oh, 100%. Matter of fact, Kansas plays this evening.
Okay, so I don't know. We don't have to go to details because we got to get out of here in a minute. But let's say hypothetically, let's say Kansas loses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do that. What do they call it? Overall BPI, something whatever they're doing. Would that drop them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, exactly. So Kansas might still make the tournament, obviously, because they Kansas. But I don't place a lot of stock on seedings per se, because to me, when I turn the TV on, it's the complexion. But for those people who do, you go. I'm just using that as an example. You go from possibly being a 4 seed to a 6. Could that make all the difference because you didn't play certain players in a conference game? I mean, I might be off base here, but you get where I'm trying to go with this.
So let me tell you this right now.
Unbelievable.
For context, bubble teams have about 13 losses. Okay, somewhere in the neighborhood.
And how many
of 10
losses
to 13.
does Kansas have?
If they were to lose this evening, they would have 10.
Ooh, see.
First of all, I would have to go back and look historically. I can never remember a Kansas team with that many losses.
Bruh, I'm about to tell you. And you know my memory, like the transmission on the 68 Buick that's been sitting in the garage too long. My memory, I'll be slipping. But I'm gonna tell you right now. If you go back, you're gonna have to go all the way back when they had wicker baskets. I'm just saying, because you're gonna be going back a ways because I off my dome. Okay, and I ain't got nothing on the dome. Y'all can tell. Okay, the sunroof is open, baby. I'm just saying, First Energy Stadium, even though that ain't what it's called no more. I'm just saying, use me as a design, baby. Open the roof to raise the roof. Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead. How
well,
far
I'm
back?
going to say this. I can tell you this right now. Any historical Kansas team with 8 or more losses has never made it to the beyond the regional semifinal.
I'm not surprised.
Meaning, in many cases, most have lost before the end of the first weekend.
Exactly. There you go.
You see all who enter.
Okay. Saying. Oh, right quick too. The NCAA Women's Final Four takes the stage at Cleveland's Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, baby.
Wow.
When I saw that, I immediately went to the NCAA's website. I was definitely going to get tickets until I saw how much they wanted for the tickets.
Flip them. If Caitlin Clark ends up there, woo.
Bruh.
Never be able to retire.
Bruh. The tickets, the ones that I saw that were available, $1,350. And it was sitting on the scoreboard on the ceiling. I'm just saying. Okay.
Seriously?
Bruh, $1,350. $1,350. Yes. I said, well, you know me, the best seat in the house is at the house. Okay.
I said that
Mrs. Al was weighing in again, shaking my head. He doesn't like her, remember. Don't like who?
Oh, Caitlin Clark.
Oh, Caitlin Clark, stop it. Yeah, see, this is what I mean by the misappropriation of interpretation of what Jaden said on the situation. Absolutely not. I never said I didn't like Caitlin Clark. Don't do that. You've been living with Double J too long. Okay, putting words in the mouth. I've never said that. I like Caitlin Clark. I love what Caitlin Clark is doing. What she's doing. Hey, I'll tell you this. You can ask my son if you want me to bring him here. I just told him. I'm watching the women's game. I'm not watching the men's game to the Sweet 16. I'm just telling you that off the rip.
Did you catch LSU in South Carolina? There was some fireworks there.
Okay. We getting ready. Hold on, you're getting ahead of me now, right? I'm just saying. I'm here to tell you all, and I've said it before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. The women's game, from a fundamental standpoint, is a far better played game, if I'm saying that right, than is the men's. And you want me to say it again? You want me to say it again?
You know what? Well, you may hang on a second. Remember, Bro Rich is not necessarily the biggest fan, but I'm interested in because of what you just said, that you noticed what I noticed. So,
what you mean? Miss Alva weighing again. She's saying actions speak louder than words. Yeah, okay. You know what? Kiss the ass. I'm just saying. What do you mean, Double J?
That fundamentals are a fundamental part of the women's game.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, but here's the deal, though. The women can't dunk and high fly to the same degree that the men can. So that's what I call the pomp and circumstance. How many times?
But hang on a second. But you said you've watched, right?
Yeah, I watched the women's game.
Despite it, is it missing it? I don't think so.
Heck no. Heck, absolutely not.
Thank you.
Absolutely not. What I'm saying to you is, how many times have you gone to Facebook and somebody's put up a post about some guy who can dunk?
Well, the Pistons social media team just did that about 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Or you see a guy posting a highlight reel and they're all dunks. Because the dunk is not the dunk contest, mind you. They need to get rid of that or do something else with it. But I'm just saying, in-game dunks. Everybody gravitates to them because it's a ooh, ah, woo. Did you see that? Ah. But from the women's game, you don't see, you be like, okay. But again, if I want to watch the game and how the game is played from a strategical standpoint, like when I talk about every possession matters, I'm like, okay, here it is. It's 3 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the second half or second quarter. I forget how they do in the college game now. I don't know if it's quarters, halves. I can't remember still. But whatever it is, it's that much time left in the game. The contest will be over after this time run out. And they down 3 or 4. Now, what you going to do from the floor? See? All right.
Okay.
The women's they have their moments of hoisting. Okay. But if you watch the type of threes that they take, the ball done usually went inside, outside, back to the other side, and came back round a couple times first. You know what I mean? Man, bro, did we not watch an NBA game? Did we not in our footage last week or week before last? Did we not show 4 minutes and both teams were just hoisting threes and missing?
We sure did.
Okay,
and the over dribbling, the excess of dribbling.
Okay, well, you don't listen. You're not gonna see that. The women's game is more. It's a better played game, floor game than is the men's. I'm just saying. Maybe this. I'm glad they don't have the dunk like that. Because if they did, it'd probably be a problem.
And that's the thing. What's impressed me most about Caitlin Clark is her distribution. That she's in some cases, I've seen her have 12 assists before she's had 12. In some cases, attempts.
Absolutely.
But we see it with, Juju Watkins as well. That's what I love about the game is that it reminds me of where we were with the NBA 20 years ago. When you knew, okay, Philly's coming to town, even Orlando, where it was Tracy McGrady, pick the team here and then insert, icon, if you will. We're starting to see that type of diversity across the board. It's not just Caitlin Clark. It's certainly Angel Reese. It's certainly Camila Cardosa.
Thank you.
The list goes on.
Thank you. And that's one of the aspects I love about the women's game. And we're talking about the college game now. Mind you, the Las Vegas Aces is balling. Okay, we ain't talking about the WNBA.
If you've never gone, I look, when I went on a whim, and it was absolutely worth my while. Mark Davis is there courtside.
Of course.
Obviously, he owns the team, but it's in Mandalay Bay. For those that don't know, you wouldn't realize it because, again, the casino floor is like 5 feet from it. So I went wondering, I'm like, where are these people going? Right? This is in the midst of a conference that if you keep going further down, you'll run, next thing you know, they're selling staplers. And there's this arena.
I'm sure.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
The women, they trust and believe, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If I get a chance, if I'm off from work and one of the games are on, I'm looking for the women's game first. Because it's a pen and pad type moment. You know what I mean? It's only Kobe Bryant, may he rest, could do detail. You get what I'm trying to tell you? It's a lot of details that you see when you see the women playing. And it's a lot of dumb when you see the men playing. I'm just saying. Okay. And we talking about the product being what the product's supposed to be, but ain't nobody playing today. See, Kawhi Leonard out. And listen, this is what I mean. Like, for instance, we talk about the NBA right quick. Has anybody, if you're not a basketball person, so to speak, not basketball, did anybody notice what Paolo Banchero is doing with the Orlando Magic?
I have. I've been watching it all year.
Okay, that's okay. But when you listen, if you turn on first take, last take, no take, it shouldn't be just take it away. Who they talk about the Lakers and the Cowboys.
This is why
disrespect to the sport, bruh. That's my point.
I'm going to say this: if you're a sponsor or if you're someone that can sponsor a program, get on board, get on this train where we can do this more than once a week, because we're not ignoring. Like, to me, it's a shame. I keep telling you, the NBA is the NBA's biggest problem.
Absolutely, it is.
Instead of making reels of about your referees, talking about my process and they like that I have gray hair. Man, what?
Man, that's great for the product.
I'm gonna tag you. I'm going to keep tagging you ad nauseum because I can't believe what the players feel better because I have gray hair and it means that I've been around here for a while.
Okay, and that is pertinent to the grand scheme. How?
I'm asking you. I was really hoping you could give me an answer here.
Listen, bro. Listen, I'll lie for you before I will to you, and I'm not gonna make up nothing just for the sake of. I don't do that. Okay. But yeah, because it ain't nothing to be said behind that garbage. That's all I'll say. That it's some garbage. That's what it is. GABB garbage. Okay.
So, yes. Yeah. I love what Paolo's doing. Honestly. I would question you. Their coach just got an extension, but if you were to ask half the fan base out here, who their coach is. Most people wouldn't even be able to give you a name.
Of course not. You know what I'm saying? But the NBA is fantastic. Absolutely not. It's tomfoolery is what it is. And then lastly, LSU, South Carolina. Should they meet for it all? Who takes the title?
So coincidentally, because I almost text you when South Carolina, remember they hit a game, Cardosa hit a 3 at the end of the semifinal.
Yeah.
To beat Tennessee. Because I was going to say, look, the wrong Tennessee, was doing big things. But of course, that's why that text didn't come through. But they're undefeated. And it should be what Dawn Staley has done. I almost want her to win, even though beating a team 3 times in a row is difficult. When they played in Baton Rouge, it was awesome. That environment was incredible. It was very similar to the game we saw the other day, because LSU's giving them everything they can handle, but they can handle it. And it's really proving that Dawn Staley's team is superior. And like you said, the tournament is the tournament. And we've seen.
Yep.
But honestly,
any given Saturday,
when we're talking about legacy, look, Niele Ivey overachieved, in my opinion, this year with Notre Dame. They won the ACC. It really comes down, like I would see, it's really going to boil down to LSU, Iowa, and I could see it. Iowa's going to lean on Caitlin Clark. They have that.
So you see a rematch. You see a rematch. You see them facing off against LSU again.
I want to see what Juju Watkins can do with the bright lights as a freshman. I want to see, because she struggled in one of those Big Ten games, and it was bad. It was like 9 points, I think. But again, you're a freshman.
Yeah.
This is
but
where
let
it
me
gets
ask you
really
this, though.
fun.
See, I don't place a lot of stock into that either. And I'm not comparing her. When I make these references, it's about what I'm seeing, not who I'm saying. Does that make sense? Was Jordan a freshman when he hit that shot against Georgetown? Because I know Worthy was a junior.
Challenge. I want to say he was. See, because in other words, I know exactly what part of the floor he hit it on too.
Yeah, it was on the left side. It was over by the bench in the scorer's tables or whatever it is. The point is, I get it. Everybody wants to, not you per se, but me and my son were going back and forth about this earlier. But she's just a freshman. I said, man, what do that mean? That means nothing to me. Okay, that means it's her first year in college. Okay. But in terms of when you step on that floor, if you got it, because I've seen cases, and listen, I've seen cases where the guy was a junior and the guy who was a freshman was better than the guy that was a junior. And the coach said, you know what? We're going to play the guy that's a freshman. So I'm just using that to say your classification ain't got nothing to do on how you handle the situation. Okay, and that's what the game is about, situations.
But a large part of why we're seeing so many upsets actually has to do with experience. Right, that grand old conundrum of.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't discredit experience. It definitely matters. But then I've seen teams that didn't have no experience be like, you know what, we don't know what we missing. So we ain't never been here. So why not? Let's play with our hair, like our hair on fire. Okay, so in other words, there's something to be said about experience, but there's something to be said about youthful exuberance too. You know
and that's why this soup it can it can be great or it can be
like
salty.
Campbell's, baby. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the women's more so than the men to the Sweet 16. I just am. And then before we get out of here, I do want to mention the infraction or the interaction or whatever the situation that took place with the LSU and the South Carolina and whatnot. I know a lot of people want to crack my head about this, but I am in agreement with what Kim Mulkey said, and I'm also in agreement with what Dawn Staley said. What Kim Mulkey was saying was, because if you go back and watch the play from the beginning, when the melee started, kind of like started, I don't know who is the girl from South Carolina. I am Groot, because that's how tall she is.
That's Cardoso.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. When she pushed that girl, the LSU kid, she was unsuspecting. Do you understand what I'm saying? In other
Right.
words, it's almost like being blindsided. You remember in a was it the Buccaneers and the Packers? Warren Sapp caught a lot of flack for that when he blindsided Bakhtiari or somebody. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that? And I get it. They say, keep your head on the swivel when you're on a football field type of deal. Okay, I get that. But I'm not going, some stuff you just don't do, even though that's what we pay to do. All right? I'm talking about the NFL in particular. But in basketball, the seemed like the Cardoso was going this way and the LSU girl was coming. She didn't see Cardoso. Do you understand what I'm saying? But Cardoso saw her the whole way. And she pushed her. She pushed her. Why? The girl that got pushed was what? Why? Why was she? And then you pushed her, and she was the way she fell, bruh. She could have broken her wrist, her arm, or anything. And the way she fell, she could have her basketball career could have been over. You don't do that. To me, that's like being bridged. Or you going up for a layup and the guy know you up there and he cut your legs out from up under you. Do you understand? Or if you want to go farther back, look what the Celtics did to Kurt Rambis on the way to the basket. You ain't even going for the ball at that point. You know what I'm trying to say? You just clotheslined him. And once you get perpendicular, nah, bro. No, that's over top. That girl, that South Carolina girl, she was dead wrong. And I get Mulkey's saying, listen, pick on somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna push somebody, in other words, don't pop your collar because you came in here, you beat my little brother. Pop your collar if you came in here, you beat Mike Tyson.
So wait a minute. Okay, I got a few takes on this. The first of which with Rambis, you got to remember that was a mind expletive. Because what happened is that changed the entire dynamic of that series, and Boston won.
I know that. No. I listen, I'm with you.
Something I tell Aiden all the time is that when someone can't bleep with you, they try to bleep with you.
I know, but here's the thing. All right. All bleeps aside.
So you got to win up here, right?
Okay.
And now, why she got pushed is she was the one that was jawing on the way back to the bench. And so Cardoso saw it and came out of her way.
No. It was another girl with braids.
No. And now that was Flau'jae Johnson that she pushed.
Okay, so listen. Okay, but listen. But whatever Flau'jae was doing, did Flau'jae put her hands on anybody?
No.
Okay, then there's no, I don't care. Listen, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. But you get what I'm trying. You don't need to put your hands on me. So what? You can't handle a little jawing? That's the game, bruh. What I'm gonna do is if you get to woofing at me, I might do a little woofing, but guess what my woofing gonna be mainly consisted of? Check the scoreboard. Bye-bye. You get what I'm trying to tell you? She should have never pushed her like that, man. And I respect Dawn for saying, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? That right there, basically in so many words, it was unnecessary. We got to be better than that type of deal. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's the high road, if you would, you know what I mean? But any type of competitor, I don't care what anybody that has ever played a competitive sport. Okay. And I'm talking about for all my backyard ballers. Y'all know just like I do. If somebody had to push you down the way that girl pushed her down, bro, what you getting up doing?
Whack.
What you getting up doing?
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
I'm trying to tell you. So because even on the court and the competitiveness, I get it. Sometimes it can boil over, but that right there, that was out of line. She was out of bounds. That was no, you don't do that.
I have contrasting views on this because you're absolutely
whose views are you
right.
contrasting?
Well,
yours
I want you to kind of dissect this because I think there's, again, the lip service of Dawn Staley saying the right things because of, I would say, the unfortunate reality of college sports right now and the delicate position of growth that is currently that we're currently in the midst of, this renaissance for women's sports, maybe universally, but certainly within basketball in the United States. And so she said the right things. And sure, it's disappointing, but as you pointed out, and any person that has ever hooped at any public park or in any driveway,
anywhere,
your best friends, you will go 30 with them, and you will get it out, and you will game on.
Yep.
It happens. And so, unfortunately, that occurred. Now, what I didn't like was what it could have escalated to with Flau'jae Johnson's brother, who ultimately was detained.
Yeah, I meant to mention. Yeah, he shouldn't have never. He shouldn't have. No, he shouldn't have never jumped over the. No, it's not like. And I don't mean to sound chauvinist here, but it's not as if though she was playing against guys. And
but
guys,
you just pointed out someone that she's substantially,
okay, but that's whoever on. Okay, but my teammates. That's where teammates getting. Listen, that dude came from in the stands, bro.
That's what I'm saying. What the what ifs out of that are so bad that I don't even want to walk down that road.
No, he shouldn't have never came out. He shouldn't have never came out the stands. And then you okay? So let me ask you this. Okay, he come out the stands and swing on somebody. Now what? That's gonna look bad for him. That's what I'm trying to say. It's gonna look bad for him. No, that's gonna be stupid on his part. Hey, listen. Them girls. Them LSU girls, they ain't no soft batch cookies now.
So then this is why I'm asking you this, right? Because there's a lot of schools of thought here. Kim Mulkey took a lot of heat because we got two contrasting views. I'm going to say it for what it is. The white lady says she poured gasoline on it and said, you should have did it to Angel Reese and you would have caught a 2-piece to go.
Okay, let me stop you right there. To me, it's not a white-black thing. It's a baller competitive thing.
The New York Post tried to make it that.
Okay, well, the New York Post, first of all, Brother Rich told us about the New York Post. Okay, it's really ain't no different than them magazines you get at the grocery store line when you're waiting for the lady in front of you that's got 1,700 items, even though it say 16 items or less. You know what I'm saying? And she, poor thing, she one item at a time.
But this is why I'm saying it this way, because look at what they've attempted to create. And I say they, meaning in the maniacal sense, because of because remember, you have this darling of Caitlin Clark, right? Okay. And then look at the Angel Reeses of the world and the others, and look at that. Oh, now they're fighting, right? Okay, Caitlin Clark could never.
Yeah, okay,
you see
they're
what I'm saying?
And that's paint a picture. But I'm telling you, don't pay no mind to that. They're gonna always try to paint the picture, but don't pay no mind to that. Focus on what's happening. Her brother was dead wrong. He shouldn't. My sisters grew up, had a couple scuffles, and my mother told me, "Don't you ever think about, you know what I mean? Now, if her brother, if the girl she's getting into, if her brother jump in, then you jump in, but you don't. You don't get involved in that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
and I don't. I'm saying what Cardoso did was it was out of line. Even though it's heated, it get heated on the court, but that was out of line. You still should know better than that. But let the girls, let the women, them ladies handle that, okay? But let me say this: I'm with Kim. To me, it was a basketball thing. It was a what do you do in that situation? I ain't looking at it was Kim. I ain't had to see who said it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? If I saw what took place and I heard what was said after the fact, I'm with Kim Mulkey to an extent. I'm with you.
Bro, because guess Dawn what? Staley had said that, it wouldn't have been the New York Post, and that's the frustrating part for me. Dawn Staley has had no choice, regardless. She couldn't get away with that statement, and that's the bass awkwardness of
But Dawn Staley, but what Dawn Staley said had some merit in it though. In other words, listen, the dog barks at the moon, but the moon shows no indication of being disturbed. Dawn was like, I'm not about to get into that because we see y'all again as a hooper, because I remember Dawn at Virginia. Okay. And this lady I keep telling y'all about Saudi Roundtree, okay, at Georgia. Dawn and Saudi, I'm not even about to go down that road, boy. That was basketball.
That group was awesome.
Yeah, hello. I remember them games. But what Dawn is saying is, if we see you again, it's going to be check the scoreboard. That's how Dawn played it right. So whether people want to look at it from a political standpoint or whatever, I'm talking about from a competitive standpoint, having played on the blacktop and all of that. It's rules, bruh. It's some stuff you do and some stuff you don't do. I don't care how heated it get. Okay, period. I'm just talking about as basketball. And I'm with Kim Mulkey because guess what? We've seen, I'm using Draymond Green as an example. We've seen Draymond Green be a ruffian, right?
Yeah.
But you know, just like I do, and this is to Kim's point, Draymond Green, the stuff that Draymond Green do in the league to Rudy Gobert and folks, he would have never tried that with Ben Wallace. He wouldn't have never, or Charles Oakley, or Xavier McDaniel.
Right.
So I'm saying from a basketball standpoint, but here's the problem. You got too many people who speaking on this thing, and they all of the participation trophy ideology. Everybody gets one. That's bull crap. There's only one Super Bowl. There's only one trophy, okay? And if you are of the participation trophy, folks, then participate your Scott to the bench. Kiss the ass, okay? That's what I'm telling you. Because I'm talking about any ball player know, okay, behind the scenes, what Kim Mulkey said was she was not wrong. And Draymond Green, go do that to Ben Wallace. And I'll sit down and shut up. But she knew who she was pushing. You get what I'm trying to? She knew. That's why she forced and then gonna try to, like, nah, bro. No.
So
dead wrong for that. Dead wrong.
Would you say advantage LSU because of the push? And that's why, Dawn Staley said what she said, because it's like, dude, you beat them. You're already winning on the scoreboard. Why would you give them fuel?
What I'm telling you is, in that locker room, Don gonna be like, listen, you see what you done did now. You didn't. It's a forget me not. Okay. If I'm on the LSU squad, trust and believe. I'm circling yours on the calendar. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm South Carolina, I'm like, okay, I'm Ben Wallace. What you mean, Shaq? I got to deal with Shaq tonight. And you see what I'm saying? Because Shaq was the diesel when the Pistons ran up against LSU. Shaq was the diesel now. He's still a diesel. And Ben Wallace was like, guess what? Watch this. I got a tractor trailer too. Man, Ben Wallace took it to Shaq, man. Ben Wallace didn't care. Hey, and I told y'all this too. Who was the Philadelphia player that called Ben? See, that's what I'm trying to say. It's some stuff you just don't do. He called Ben Wallace the B word. Ben didn't say nothing. Looked at him. He's like, oh, okay. When the game was over with, Ben was sitting on the hood of that dude's car. You understand what I'm saying? And the dude started copping deuces is what we call it. Like, oh, man, no, you wasn't playing. Nah. What you mean you was just playing? Well, guess what? Crack. If I'm not mistaken, I think the boys' veneers was vanquished. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just, come on, man. You listen, some cats on the court or on the field or whatever, they do what they do because they know they can get away with who they did it to. You understand what I'm saying? But if you are really that type of dude, then it ain't gonna matter, tall, small, or not. I'm coming at you. You understand what I'm trying to say? And she knew what she was doing when she put Flonase, or whatever the little girl name is. I don't know nothing about nothing right now. I'm just saying. Yeah, she knew what she was doing, but it's all to the good. Trust and believe. That's why I'm telling you right now, I'm watching the women's game, bro. Because it's good. It's good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's finna go down. It's really finna go down. But anywho, we got to get on out of here. And on that note, I'll leave you without a quote. No quote for the day. It's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out every Wednesday right now at 8 on the PM side right here on the yard. Or y'all can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page, and of course, YouTube. And of course, when you're at the YouTube right there, do me a favor. You know what I'm saying? Hit that subscribe button. We'd be much obliged. Yeah. And if that don't work, y'all can Google it. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm all over the place. But before we got out of here, we just want to let y'all know once again, the shop is selling merch now. Please, if you would, go in there and get you a t-shirt or something, baby. Because here's what we got for you right quick before we get on out.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report. Click on More. And then Shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the Shop tab. to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
Yeah, what we doing here? My gosh. Anyway, for my dudes, Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. Oh, and remember, next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. I don't know who over there hitting the buttons, but it ain't your boy. Holla.
Peace.